Welcome back, Degenerates. It is a winning Wednesday with your boys here, Billy the Kid, Billy FFD, and yours truly, Mo Watts 26, Morgan. Billy, how we doing tonight, my boy?
Doing good. We're doing good. We had a profitable weekend. The only thing that really hurt us was the player props, but it is what it is. I had a very good college
Yeah.
football card. I went 9-4. Privately, I went like 14-4. So I had a good weekend. I'm back. That's all I can say. I'm back. How
Back
about you?
again.
How you doing?
The prior player props killed me too. Was having a decent day, and my two easy player props, the Stephon Diggs over receptions that's hit like 16 out of the last 17 times, decides not to hit for the first time all in like a year. So that really was a real kick in the nuts. But we had a decent weekend. We built up a little bit of money. We're finding the rhythm. We're finding the groove. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Let's go, folks. It's bobsled time. We're going to find it. It'll come back to us. It's starting to. I love the card this week. You don't love my card. I love this card this week.
I just don't like one pick on your card. The rest is fine. The rest
You're
is fine.
nitpicking. You're nitpicking because once I get hot, there's no going back. You can't stop me.
You can't stop me either.
Once
You're
I
not the
get
one
on
that's
that
hot.
little,
I'm the one that's hot.
no. I guess once we get on that roll, we know who's going to finish at the end of the standings at the end of the day. This guy.
Yeah, we'll
This
see.
guy.
We'll see.
This guy is.
You said that about every sport so far, and you've only beaten me in one. So
all it takes is one to get on a roll. That's how you start a streak right there. One is how you start a streak.
Three's a trend, though. Three's a trend. Never forget that.
And side bets this week, I'm starting to find the mojo with different stuff. Bet a couple baseball plays the past few nights. They felt good. I had one that lost tonight, which is really a bummer. Fuck you, Walker Bueller, you no talent piece of shit. But that's neither here nor there. We're getting ready for some NFL talk. We're entering week 3. It's crazy. It's week 3 already. This season's going to be over before I fucking know it. I'm miserable. I just found out, I think it was yesterday or today, is the first day of fall. I'm not ready for that. I was not ready for that shift in my life.
Which I'm wearing a tank top right now. I'm wearing a Kings jersey.
I was actually going to ask you what the jersey was this entire time. I just kept forgetting to do it.
Jason Williams jersey, baby.
That's a good jersey. I really was hoping you'd bring out like a Vladdy Divac or a Peja jersey or something. But
if anything, it'd be a Doug Christie. It'd be my second choice.
Jay Will's a great jersey, though. A little white chocolate. Nothing like it. But week 2 is in the books now. We're moving to week 3. Billy, before we even get into some picks, what did you think of week 2? I thought it was a pretty fucking awesome week.
Yeah, it was fun. Finally, a lot of scoring. A lot of wild games. And one thing I noticed, though, and I was going to touch on it because I don't know. Do you have the Eagles on your card by chance?
Not for this. Fuck no, we know this. I don't.
I'm just asking because I was thinking about they'll be on my card, like on Twitter. One thing I noticed was if they were a 3-point favorite, none of them covered this week. It was very interesting. Not one team covered. If you were a 3-point or 3.5-point favorite, not a single soul.
Yeah, it is interesting. I didn't look at that deep, but it was a very interesting week. We had one of my 3-point favorites ended up really choking down the stretch and blowing it for me. Should have been the easiest win of the entire week. They were just destroying Baltimore. And then all of a sudden they forget how to play football. And that was real kicking the nuts.
Want to hear something wild? Probably. I fell asleep in the first quarter. I mean, I went back and rewatched the whole game, but
I was watching that game. That was the final leg of 2 parlays I had rocking. I felt great. They were up by 11 going into the 4th. I was like, holy shit, this is going to be much easier than I expected. Nope, that didn't happen. I had to sit there and watch Lamar Jackson actually play quarterback for once and ruin my night.
Yeah, I was up. I was tired. It was a long day, making content all day for FFD on Twitter, doing this, doing that, went to the gym. It's either or there. It doesn't matter. So Lamar throws the interception, the second play of the game. And I said, hey, this game's fucking over. And I went to bed. I didn't purposely go to bed. I knocked out. I woke up with a minute left, and he had that real wicked RPO where he pulled it back and ran almost to the sideline to close it out. Yeah. And that's when I woke up, and I was like, oh, man, this game got good, huh?
Yeah, it sucked. I wasn't too pleased. I was cursing under my breath the entire game, watching it and just sitting there going, woe is me. Why is this happening to me right now? Not going to lie, definitely doubled up on a couple live bets on the Chiefs in that game, going for money lines and stuff, and that really backfired. But, I learned a good lesson. It's a good lesson for all gamblers. You don't chase wins. You
No,
don't chase wins. You kind of let the cold streak hit you a little bit. I blame you wholeheartedly for the cold streak.
get out of
You
here.
passed your bad juju of week one on to me, and it messed with me. And as a sign of solidarity to my boy, I had to get in the trenches with him and go through this. And he's come out the other end. I have not come out the other end yet. Hopefully this week I do come out the other end. But that game was awesome. That's probably the game of the week by far. There were some awesome individual performances like Cooper Kupp, fucking awesome. Derrick Henry,
Oh,
sheesh.
listen to this real quick. I was playing against Derrick Henry in 2 leagues. I have a commanding lead in both fantasy leagues at this point. I go to make dinner, take a shower. It was halftime. At halftime, he had 9 points.
Yeah,
I get back. He's got 47 points. I lose both my matchups by 30. I said,
it
what
was
happened?
unbelievable. I was watching that game again today. It was playing on NFL Network, and I'm just watching the fourth quarter. Like Derrick Henry's doing nothing, and I'm sitting there because I know the chirp last week was is Derrick Henry. What happened last week? Derrick Henry wasn't Derrick Henry. He only had 58 or something yards rushing week one. Like what happened? Why did they not give him the rock? Dude rushes for 182 and basically puts up 100 just in the fourth and overtime.
Yeah,
Like
he
it
does
was
that.
unbelievable. He's just a battering ram and just tears you down. Like he was phenomenal. Kyler Murray, early season MVP. He has to be the front runner
Yeah.
right now. Like he's a stud.
For me, he's the front runner. By the numbers, he's not. But for me, he's the front.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think he'll be there during the end. Like Derek Carr's put up a good shot. I don't think Derek Carr will be there at the very end of the day.
Derek Carr's got almost 900 passing yards through 2 weeks.
It's wild how much they're passing the ball. But I guess that's what happens when your running backs are just dead, basically.
That's a good thing.
So a lot of cool things.
Real quick, I wanted to shout out the guy who had the 16-game parlay, the money line parlay.
Did you see that they actually paid him out? Half the payout was.
I saw that they offered it to him. It didn't say whether they took it or not.
He took it. It was $133,000. They offered
him. Good for him. I wouldn't have taken it. I wouldn't have taken it. You know why? Because
I'm not that much of a man of honor. I would have taken it.
No, because if you go back, they offered to him at halftime. It was a 3-point game.
Yeah.
I'm letting that shit ride, bro. I'm letting that ride. I'm a psycho. I'm a psycho.
That was a lot of money. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, no, it was a $25 free play, you know?
Yeah, that was what I was reading. Like there was no cash out option for him because it was a free play and everything. Is like, God, that sucks. My anxiety would be through the fucking roof.
The book offered that to him to hedge themselves. That's what they did.
You know? Like that, unreal. But any other week 2 notes? Anything you got before we move into some picks?
Not necessarily. A couple of things I want to talk about. We'll get into it when we get into the game. So let's get after it.
All right, let's get at it. Give me your first pick. What do you got first?
Well, we might as well start off with the one.
What, the one that we're against each other on?
Yeah. You might as well.
Idiot.
I'm the idiot.
You're dumb.
All right. I'm going to be on Rams money line plus 110. I'm waiting. I haven't bet it yet because I'm waiting. Well, I did bet it. I'm going to bet it again when the line gets better because it's only going to go towards Tampa because Tom Brady is a public guy. The public has bet this game from +3 to -1.5 for no reason at all. Tampa's D has not looked good. They've let up the second most passing yards in the NFL. They're missing everybody in their secondary. Tom Brady it's a classic look ahead game. Tom Brady's already looking ahead, looking for the cutoff big bad Bill Belichick sweatshirt. Because fall just hit. You just told me it's fall. The sweatshirt's coming out. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp look like an unbeatable combo. I told you guys Matthew Stafford plus over 27.5 touchdowns was an easy money bet, barring injury. He's got 5 already. 3 of them to Cooper Kupp. I told you Cooper Kupp plus 2,400 was a great bet for most touchdowns. Second in the league in touchdowns right now. It's simple fade the public 101. Everybody and their mother, including Mr. Square Morgan Watkins over there, has bet on Tampa Bay. The Bucks 1 out of 2 after a straight up win by 14 points or more against the spread. Rams 11-2 against the spread in their last 13 games following against the spread loss. Rams 9-4 against the spread in the last 13 games in September. I'm sorry. I'm a little tired. Morgan's kept me up. Rams money line all day, all day, all day. Lock it in.
Yeah, so I'm going to be on the Bucks laying 1.5.
Like a square.
No, you're wrong. I'm also actually going to be. I just added it to my card now. I'm going to be on the over 55 as well. That just seems like kind of free money in a sense with what these two teams will put up point wise. I disagree with everything that you say. I just think you're dumb. So both of these teams put up points. I agree. Bucks defense isn't great right now. They're beat up. They're banged up. Rams defense is strong and everything. However, you can't go against how much weapons Tom Brady has. I don't ever go against Tom Brady. I bet against Tom Brady more than enough in my life. We bet against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. How'd that work for us? Didn't work well.
Antonio Brown's not playing, right?
Doesn't matter. I'm a big Scotty Miller guy.
Yeah, okay. That's a talent discrepancy.
I got 2013 Gronk out there, putting up 17 touchdowns a game. I don't need Antonio Brown. He's a square. So both of these teams are putting up over 30 a game right now. 39.5 for Tampa, 30.5 for LA. So I love the over in this game. I think this is going to be a bit of a shootout towards the end of the day. I cannot go against how much talent Tampa has on the offensive side of the ball. I believe they're going to look to incorporate the run a little bit more to keep pressure off of Tom Brady in this game. Look for Fournette, Ronald Jones, maybe some Gio Bernard coming out of the backfield as well. I think they're going to get them all involved in this game. Don't give me those faces. I didn't give you faces. I minded my business.
I'm just reacting to what you're saying.
This guy. Tom Brady is the reason he's the best of all time. You don't bet against Tom Brady. Plain and simple. Especially in these games like this where the public's going to start going with him. You don't go against Tom Brady. What did I just say? We went against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I lost a bit of money in the Super Bowl. I know you lost a bit of money over that game as well because we were both on the Chiefs. We were
every which way.
Yeah. We were very much all in on the Chiefs to win that game. What happened? Tom Brady did Tom Brady things. He did work. We see there's a rejuvenated Gronk out there on the field. He looks 5 years younger. He looks phenomenal. Mike Evans got reincorporated in the offense more last week. Chris Godwin is still out there as a great receiver. Like I said, Scotty Miller is out there. I love me some Scotty Miller. He's going to score a touchdown this week. Put it on the books right now. I'm probably going to play Scotty Miller anytime touchdown. That defense still with Tampa Bay, it is fast. The secondary might not be the greatest, but they are a fast defense. They can get around. There's
nobody back there anymore. They're all hurt.
Okay. Shush.
I'm trying to help you. You're not listening.
You're not going to help me because the only thing you're going to help me with is when you text me Sunday afternoon and be like, Morgan, you were right. I was wrong. I'm sorry. And I know you're going to do it because you're a stand-up guy. I would do the same for you. So Tampa's defense is lightning fast still. They still can fly around the ball and everything. I said it last week. And what happened when we said you told me you didn't really love the Tampa 12.5 against Atlanta. I said the Super Bowl malaise, the Super Bowl hangover. What happened? Tampa comes out and puts a whooping on Atlanta. Yes, Atlanta is not the Rams. I 100% will admit that every single time. But the Super Bowl malaise, they're coming off of the shorter off season and everything. It's going to take a little bit time. Third week here, coming into it, Tom Brady doesn't look ahead. Tom Brady does not look ahead to opponents, and he's not going to look ahead to the only team he might look ahead to is Week 5 against my Philadelphia Eagles because he's afraid of us and he sees ghosts of us from the Super Bowl. He sees the ghost of Nick Foles right now coming out of that locker room. But anyway, I will be on the Bucks laying 1.5. I will actually also add over 55 for the total for the game. Rams as a home underdog their last 8 games, they're 0-7-1 against the spread. Bucks.
That was in the old stadium, and they pushed on the spread last night.
I don't care about your old stadium nonsense.
SoFi is a beautiful stadium. That's all I'm going to say. Real quick, just to counterpoint.
Big stage for Tom Brady.
It's a 4:30 game. It's not a Sunday night game.
LA, baby. And they're the lights.
One thing I will say is that the Bucks were not covering for a little bit, and then Matty Ice, Mr. Matt Ryan himself, decided to throw 2 touchdowns to Mike Edwards. You know who Mike Edwards is? Is one of their third-string corners who just threw the ball straight to him.
I actually remember seeing a funny thing that he's turned more touchdown passes to Mike Edwards this year than to Ridley, Pitts, and everyone else.
Yeah, to everybody else.
Quite funny. So, fun fact about Matt Ryan, and you might know this because you're a football guy also. Did you know that Matt Ryan is number 9 all-time in passing yards? pretty wild to think about that.
I
When you
love Matt
really just
Ryan.
break it down. Like he's not a guy you think of in that conversation. Yeah,
Well,
I don't even. He's like a borderline Hall. I don't think he's a surefire Hall of Fame guy. He's like a borderline kind of guy.
they're
You
letting
know,
anybody in nowadays. I
but
took a look at that
Eli's
ballot.
going to get in. Hell, Matt Ryan's definitely going to get in.
Like Devin Hester changed the game, but he's not a Hall of Famer.
No, not at all. I saw
He's
that
on the
today.
ballot. He's on the
First
ballot.
year guys, I was like, this is kind of an underwhelming class. Like, there's not like Steve Smith, I think, is a Hall of Famer. DeMarcus Ware is a Hall of Famer. But after I was like, oh, some of these guys really aren't like anything special.
Yeah. Well,
Like they were
anyways, that's neither here nor there. Keep an eye out for that game because me and Morgan will most likely be yelling at each other on Twitter. My next game, this is a hunch. This is a gut feeling. There's absolutely zero stats to back it up because when I went to go look for it, the stats smacked me in the face. So there's no stats. Truly, my mind, my gut, my opinion to the promised land. Jets plus 11, sprinkle on the money line. I'll tell you why. First off, I understand. Don't get me wrong. I know this. Morgan knows this. Everybody in the world knows this. Betting on the Jets is never a good idea. But this season, we have yet to see a big underdog win outright. There's no question about it. Like I thought a couple teams could have had it last week, could have given a shot at it. Didn't happen. Could this be the one? I don't know. But there's a sprinkle on it. I'll tell you that. I feel quite confident in the Jets plus 11. If you watch FFD, I grabbed it live on that show. I was like, hold on, guys. I gotta put this bet in. Bradley Chubb officially hits the IR. He's gonna miss 6 to 8 weeks. He's a big part of their offense. Their defense, I apologize for the Broncos. I personally set this line.
Bradley Chubb here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I set this line before I saw it at Broncos -7, and I think that's fair. Like, if you're trying to tell me that the Broncos are 7 points better than the Panthers, you're out of your mind. I think you're crazy. I think this is an easy bounce back game for Zach Wilson, first year coach Robert Saleh. He's going to light a fire under the ass of Zach Wilson. He's going to ball out. Broncos defense is good, but their offense does not put up a lot of points. They put this. Another reason why I took it, we spoke about it when we were trying to teach Jared how to gamble. Shout out to Jay Philly, the kid. The total on this game says it all. They set it at 41. They think it's going to be very low scoring. They think it's going to be, if it's a low scoring game, chances are it's going to be close. It's going to be within 10 points. That's what I think. I'm Jets plus 11, sprinkle on the money line. If anybody has the balls to sprinkle it with me, we'll all celebrate.
I don't hate it. I told you that earlier. I don't hate it.
I'm convincing everybody to take.
I'll put a sprinkle on. I don't have the balls to make it an official play.
Jets plus 11 is official play.
That. I don't hate. I'm looking at it right now. I have it at plus 10. You got it early. I have it at plus 10 right now. I still don't hate it. I don't think I have the balls to do it as an official, but I'll definitely sprinkle it for sure. Throw it in there somewhere. Little dibble. Just get a little treble in there.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. Zach Wilson can't possibly be that bad a second week in a row. Like he's still a really good young quarterback. He's got a ton of talent. Like I believe in him. I think he's going to be good. Denver's D is a little bit, but losing Chubb I think is massive for them. Von Miller can't really make it through a game. It seems like anymore. He's kind of like the Jason Peters of the defensive side of the ball, where he just can't make it, which is a shame. It always sucks when you see those guys start to lose it and whatnot. I don't believe you sent me that stat last week about Teddy Bridgewater and all. I don't buy Teddy Bridgewater stock.
Covers?
I don't buy stock in Teddy Bridgewater. He has that awesome stat, but it would be the Jets that he doesn't cover against. It's just that's the way sports work. So yeah, I don't hate that at all. All right, my guy. One first play that I got aside from that Tampa one where I'm on the right side. Cardinals over 3.5 touchdowns versus the Jaguars. You said you don't like this as much. I love this play. I think this is an absolute slam dunk kind of play. Jacksonville's defense is not good. They are giving up 423.5 yards per game right now through 2 games in the season, and they have not faced an offense that is as good as Arizona's. Like this, Arizona is rolling right now. They are coming in as just an offensive juggernaut. Like we kind of already teased earlier, Kyler Murray looks like an MVP. He's got 7 touchdown passes already early in the season. That offense is putting up 36 points per game against somewhat decent D. Like Minnesota's defense isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible by any means. And
No,
especially
Minnesota's secondary is
the
hot
secondary is
garbage.
the secondary is not good, but the defense as a whole is not that awful once you get around everything else. Um, Jacksonville sucks. They're giving up 30 points per game thus far this season. Like I said, against weaker offenses. The Urban Meyer transition has not worked out that great, and it's going to both sides of the ball, especially when Trevor Lawrence is turning the ball over, leads the league in interceptions. That's setting up short fields right there for Kyler Murray in that offense all day long. Kyler Murray, I think, again, is going to come out with a 3 touchdown through the air game, and I wouldn't be shocked if he runs another one in. He is very consistent with running that in. Like he had 10 games last season where he ran up one in. Like he finds a way to score. So I love this. Like Jacksonville's giving up 295.5 through the air also right now. Murray's going to put up over 300 through the air. He's probably going to rush for at least 50 or 60. 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground. I wouldn't be shocked if we get a defensive touchdown from Arizona also. Buda Baker maybe runs one back. There's no DK Metcalf running him down on the Jacksonville side. I don't see DJ Chark catching up to him anytime soon. I love this play. I think this is a slam dunk.
It's not so much like the play itself. It's just I don't know. I feel like 3.5. It's a lot. I think that it because the way I'm viewing it is as if I would be betting on the spread. Like whenever I'm thinking about a touchdown prop, the Cardinals next week have division rivals. It could be a look ahead. They could just go in, do what it takes to win the game, not care because they can stop the Jaguars whenever they want. They can score whenever they want. They have a big matchup going against the Rams. Right after the Rams beat the Bucks, and if not, then we have a whole lot to talk about because then it's either way it's a look ahead for both that game we talked about before. I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't like.
It's already locked in for me.
Yeah, I don't really like if you were telling me that they were gonna cover the spread, I'd be like, I don't know. It's sitting at 7.5.
I'm not worried about. I'm not going to worry about the spread. Yeah. I think Arizona's going to win. I do think I would lean to Arizona covering the spread, just because Jacksonville has looked that bad on offense so far. So it's see what happens. But I think this is a great play. I think this is a ton of value in this play. I think Arizona's going to put up at least 35 points in this game. Like Jacksonville cannot stop anybody.
Interesting. I don't hate it. I don't love it. That's all I'm going to say. My next play is going to be second biggest. I shouldn't say the biggest because the Bucks line movement is insane. Second biggest line movement of the week so far. Bears versus Browns, and I'll be on the over. The game has been bet from 47.5 or 48 in some cases. I saw 48 on my book, down to 45.5. And from like the sources you see on the internet, I've checked a couple different sites where it shows the handle and whatnot. It's all public money. It's all most bets are on the under because they're thinking, oh, the Bears stink, and the Browns have a good defense. Bears are playing Justin Fields. He's going to run all over the field. The Justin Fields era is going to begin, or at least for one game, because Matt Nagy is an idiot and still thinks that Andy Dalton's going to be the starter when he comes back. Chicago will light on fire if that happens. I also think that people are overblowing this Baker shoulder injury. It's not even his throwing arm, and they're a run-first team anyway. OBJ is trending towards coming back. For me, this is a fade the public play. It's whenever lines move like this, I'll be all over it. Over is 4-0 in the Bears' last 4 games following a straight-up win. Over is 4-1 in the Bears' last 5 road games. Over is 4-1 in the Browns' last 5 games overall. And over is 7-3 in the Browns' last 10 games as a home favorite. I don't know why anybody's betting the under. Bears are 2-0 to the over. Browns are 1-1.
I like that. Yeah. I think if it was the higher number, it makes sense. I understand why people bet it down and all. But now that the value is there to hit the over big time, like it's
Yeah.
the way that they're putting I said in the beginning of the year, Bears defense isn't what it used to be. Like it's still good, but it's not dominant by any means. Again, same thing you could say about like Von Miller. Same thing you could say about Khalil Mack. Losing a step and everything. He's not the same guy. He's still great, but he's not the guy he used to be by any means. Rookie quarterbacks always, especially one, you get that vibe with Justin Fields that he's going to show out in his first career start. Also, like he's going to do something very special, and he's got the dual threat ability where he can get out of the pocket and run. Yeah, the Browns have seen that. I'd be interested to look into a little bit more how Lamar Jackson in his career has fared against the Browns as a dual threat quarterback. And not that Justin Fields is going to run to that degree, but that would be kind of interesting to see what kind of numbers that the Ravens put up routinely against them. So I think those offenses, if you really dial it back and everything, they're kind of similar in a way where the Ravens and Browns don't have that massive passing attack. They're more running based of what they do.
Yeah.
So that would be something interesting to think about for sure.
Two things. One thing I heard on ESPN Radio this afternoon coming back from the gym, Michael Kay was talking about they didn't understand why they are telling like Matt Nagy saying, "Oh, Andy Dalton's coming back," and thinking about it, I was like, it's like it kind of takes some pressure off of them, like not thinking it's an audition, like, oh hey, I'm just the fill-in guy here, let me ball out, it takes some pressure off, and then also it's good defense, good first good defense, over.
Yeah, we know what that means.
This is the second one of the year. Let's see if it hits again.
Tried true formula.
Let's see if it goes 2 for 2 in the NFL.
I do like that play. I'm going to keep some eyes on that and see where that total movement goes to. Also, I think I'll probably put a little something on that tonight. Actually, to ride with the boys. We ride with the boys. That's what we do.
This twice you're riding with me now. This twice, and you said you loved your card.
Yeah, I do. I'm not riding with your Rams pick.
By Sunday you should be. But.
I will not be. Yeah. I have a point to prove, so I will be doubling down on my Bucks.
You know it's a bad idea.
All right, my next pick I'm going to go back to chalk. I have to believe it's going to hit this week because the biggest tease of all last week was the Cowboys-Chargers not hitting that over. I'm going Chiefs-Chargers over 55. This is starting to get bet down as well. It opened up at 56.5. It was at 55.5 earlier today. It was at 55 when I just looked at it. I'm actually loading it right now to see if it's moved again. It's still at 55 right now. That sucker's moving down also. There's no way in hell it goes back-to-back weeks with Chargers involved. They don't hit the over. There's no shot. That broke my heart last week. I couldn't believe it. But if you really peel back the layers of it, the Bolts defense really wasn't that great still. They just got very you're giving me a finger.
I got 54.5 offshore book.
All right, well, I mean, I like to bet with the American public here.
I'm sorry. I'm just letting you know.
I'll wait.
Quote unquote illegal gambling state. So.
I'm fine with the 55 because even 54.5, I get the 55 the worst. I push. Okay, sucks, but it is what it is. Chargers defense in that game, they were very much a bend but don't break defense. Cowboys were moving. They got into the red zone pretty much at will. They just couldn't punch it in. Mistakes, turnovers, they just couldn't do it. Both Chargers gave up 25 first downs in that game. We're only able to get pressure on Dak twice and sack him 2 times over the game. Like, you were able to move the ball. It just didn't work out, unfortunately. Bringing Kansas City now coming off that kind of embarrassing loss and choking that game away to Baltimore, they're going to come out and want to put up points. Like, they're going to show out. There's no way that Tyreek is going to get held to 3 catches for 14 yards again. That's not going to happen. Tyreek is one of the best receivers in the league for a reason. He will put up numbers in this game. Another thing that I love about this game, this is going to be another big. Travis Kelce's already cooking early in the season. He's going to cook every single week. This is going to be their big Travis Kelce game. Chargers are giving up 10.8 yards per reception to tight ends early on this season. It's a pretty big number. And it's not like they played monster tight ends. Logan Thomas and Dalton Schwartz, really not monsters. Now you're throwing Kelce out there. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
I mean, I will say it's a little bit inflated. Schultz had 2 catches, both for 10 yards, and then Blake Jarwin was jumping around midfield for a 20-yard catch. So
it happens, Shit happens. Now I bring a better guy in there who's really
That game was very strange, though.
that game
It
sucked. It pissed me off.
it was like 60 penalties. It was
It
absurd.
started out great too. The game in the first quarter was like 14-10 after the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I was just sitting there thinking to myself, "Oh, this over is going to be a breeze. Like I'm not even going to have to worry about it or anything." And then all next thing I know, I took a nap. I woke up. There was only 3 more points that got scored in the next 2 quarters, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, what just happened to this game? Um, right now, Kansas City is 13-8 to the over as a home team since 2019. And I think that with Justin Herbert and this Chargers offense, it is still a good offense. They can attack as well. Just they have plenty of weapons. They have the receivers, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. They saw Austin Eckler get more involved in the passing game last week, which is a great sign. It's kind of like Christian McCaffrey light in a sense. I think this is going to go 14-8 for the Chiefs with that over under the total. So give me that over 55, and we'll see where it gets down to. And if I can get it at 45.5, 44, 43.5, keep on plowing it in.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. The next one we're both on is going to be Packers plus 3.5. This is another one I think is fairly easy. It's similar, like how I said none of the 3.5 point favorites covered last week. It's the same thing I think is going to happen again this week because I talked about right before we really kicked off the show. I asked if you were doing the Eagles at +4, +3.5. You said no. It's like, well, that's something I'm also going to be on. Back to the Packers though. Aaron Rodgers looked like his normal self on Monday night. That touchdown pass to Robert Tonyan, it was a work of art. It blew Peyton Manning's mind.
Absolutely.
The weak spot in the Packers defense has always been against a running back and against a tight end. 49ers, they're picking people up off the street to play running back this week. They have no idea. Mostert's out for the year. Elijah Mitchell, everybody's favorite waiver wire waste, he's got a twisted ankle, doesn't know if he's going to play. Trey Sermon's got a concussion. Trent Cannon, who they just signed from Baltimore, who got cut to be ahead of Lat Murray and all these old dusty-ass players. There's nobody there to run the ball, to beat down on the Packers defense. The only strong suit, like I said, for the 49ers will be George Kittle. Historically, the Packers are bad against tight end. I talk about it year after year on FFD. But listen, the 49ers gave up 33 points to the Lions in week 1. Was it garbage time? Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You still gave up the points. You still didn't look very good. You know, the offense didn't move very well last week. Darius Slay looked very good for the Eagles, by the way. I will say that. But it doesn't matter because they only put up 17 points. The Packers are going to put up way more points than that. For the 49ers, they're 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 home games. And the 49ers are also 10-25-1 in the last 36 games as a favorite. Against the spread, sorry.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, I love the Packers. This is a play. I have Packers plus 3.5 as well. I have it in my notes. What did Aaron Rodgers say 2 years ago when everybody worried, oh my God, what's going on with the Packers? RELAX. Relax. It's okay. Rodgers looked phenomenal on Monday Night Football. He looked like Aaron Rodgers. As a Aaron Jones fantasy owner, it was a phenomenal night to be me. It was great watching him, and I actually needed him because I ended the night losing by 24 points, and he put up a nice 48 bomb. Gotta love that. It's the big thing with this game here is they were able to really get back to the running game, and involve the running back in the game, whether it was A.J. Dillon, whether it was Aaron Jones. They involved him and involved the tight end in the middle of the field. That is huge. That opens up the entire field for guys like Devontae Adams, for Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Alan Lazard, those guys. You saw them making plays they weren't able to make in week 1 against the Saints when they got away from it. Aaron Jones only had 5 carries in that first game of the season. They got away from it so fast. This game, they stuck with it. And they weren't winning the whole game. They went into halftime trailing, but they stuck with it. And it paid huge dividends for them. And they outscored them 21-0 in the second half because of that. This 49ers offense, like you said, I don't want to buy this 49ers offense. It put up 17 points against the Eagles. Like, granted, the Eagles have a pretty good defense this year from the early going and everything. Eagles weren't getting any pressure. I watched that entire game. We sacked Jimmy Garoppolo, I believe, one time the entire game. Like, we weren't able to do anything. Garoppolo was missing receivers. They weren't able to hit the holes running the ball until late in the game when they kind of changed some things up, but they couldn't move the ball against the Eagles. Granted, the Eagles couldn't move the ball either, but that is what it is. I expected that part. The 49ers are, again, they're starting to fall apart. They're starting to get injured left and right. It just keeps happening to them. And now if you have a team that Elijah Mitchell is pretty much your number one back that you're relying on, because who knows, you will know better than me if Trey Sermon is going to play.
He's not playing.
He's not going to play, so you're going to rely on Mitchell again. He didn't do anything special.
Mitchell probably not going to play either.
Jeez, that's just I mean,
they might have to just run him out there, like, regardless, like how they used to do to Mostert in years past, and just like have him re-aggravate an injury after 4 or 5 plays.
Just tough it out for a minute.
There's something about that training staff. I don't know what it is. That whole team is always hurt.
Yeah, this is how the Eagles have been for the past years. The Sixers are consistently with every guy who gets hurt. It sucks. It's not fun when you have that team.
Here we go.
But I'm not getting into a Philly rant tonight. But also, they're relying on Josh Norman to be their number one cornerback. Josh Norman, even in his best year, he's not a number one cornerback. He got lucky and made plays because guys were targeting him when he had his 7 interception season with the Panthers that got him paid. He's not that big guy. Devontae Adams can cook him all day long. Scantling can run past him all day long. Like, Josh Norman was getting beat up by Devontae Smith, by Jalen Reagor, by Quez Watkins. He gave up a 91-yard pass to Quez Watkins, who ran right past him. They're not nearly the same caliber receiver as Devontae Adams is. Packers right now, they're more talented team on the offensive side of the ball than the Niners are on defense. I believe their offensive line can protect Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is just so smart with the ball. He knows when to get rid of it, not to take the unnecessary hits. Additionally, last 2 seasons, Packers have been an underdog 7 times. Not only are they 5-2 in those games, but they're 5-2 against the spread as well in those games. Give me Packers with the points. There's more value in the points than taking the Packers money line. So give me those points.
Yes, no, I agree, and I will be looking to see what Aaron Jones's over in rushing yards will be, because San Francisco's given up just under 135 yards a game on the ground. So it's a little something.
Now, I will say, just to preface that, they did actually doing a pretty good job against the run last week. Jalen Hurts had 82 yards rushing on scramble plays where he was running to get out of the pocket. So think about that one. I don't hate it. I agree with you. Like, I'm a big Aaron Jones guy. I think he'll definitely hit that and everything. But that number is going to be a little bit skewed because Miles Sanders did a pretty good job, but they were able to kind of contain him for the most part. Hey, no slander over here.
All right, let's go back to week 1 then. How many points did DeAndre Swift put up? He had an insane game. Wasn't even supposed to play.
Yeah, that's because he has a murder investigation pending.
Yeah. All right, listen, that's neither here nor there. You see that bow tie I just sent you? That's what I've been staring at for the last 5 minutes.
No.
Go check your phone. Anyway, every week I'm going to try to give you guys a teaser. So my teaser this week is going to be the Panthers. Yeah. The Panthers and the Rams 6-point teaser. I'm taking the Panthers. You're teasing through the football numbers of 7 and 3, the most important numbers in football, to make them a 2.5-point favorite. I liked it better when the line moved up towards the Panthers, because with the 8, it confirms that, like, I'm going through all those numbers. I love that. And then the Rams, I already spoke about why the Rams going to win outright, but it's free. I'll take that. Regardless of how that game ends, it'll be a close game, the Rams-Bucks game. I don't think that's going to be like a blowout on either side. Can you at least agree with that?
I do agree with you on that.
Okay. Thank you for at least agreeing with something about that game, besides that you're already wrong.
I think it'll be like a 37-33 kind of game.
Yeah, and with that line movement that went crazy towards the Bucks, the Rams teaser now brings it to 7.5. So you're through numbers on both sides of that teaser. I love that. You should lock that in. I love that.
Too shabby.
But you have one more bet. Is that it for you?
Yeah, I'll talk one more. I have two more on the card that'll get posted. Like I said, each week now. I will leave one of them for those of you who want to take a read at the Six Pack on Fantasy Football Degenerates podcast. You can come find it on there. I will have that extra pick on there for you. And it's good because it's probably one of my favorite picks of the week. So next one we're going to have tonight will be Seattle Seahawks and Vikings over 55.5. Another one, I absolutely love this team. I sat there and I was reading this and I was reading some of the writing and stuff, and I was thinking to myself, the coaching in this game, you got two defensive-minded coaches in Mike Zimmer and Pete Carroll. They're going to be killing themselves inside because their defense suck, and they're just relying on their offenses to do everything right now. And my favorite part about this matchup here and why I love this game hitting the over is the strengths of the offenses on both of these teams is the weakness of each team's defense. The Seahawks passing attack, which has been phenomenal to start the season, is what the Vikings struggle against the most with that secondary. That is just a disaster. The Vikings are one of the best running teams in the league. The Seahawks running defense is absolutely abysmal. Like it is set up to be a perfect storm of events that's going to hit this over. Like going in with the Seahawks, right? So Russell Wilson is on a roll already. You got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, who's looking phenomenal. I'm a little salty still with you because you told me not to draft Tyler Lockett in fantasy. He's been great.
I stand by that.
I don't stand by that at this point. But at least he's not like Terry McLaurin or Amari Cooper going off when we're told to bench him and stuff like that. So
couldn't be me.
Sorry. But they've been attacking like crazy against the passing attacks right now. Russell Wilson's putting up monster numbers. Minnesota, we know Dalvin Cook is probably the second best running back in football behind Derrick Henry. We put McCaffrey.
But you think he's like a receiver or something?
I think of McCaffrey more as a fantasy running back than like an actual running back.
The guy averages almost 100 yards a game on the ground throughout his career.
I understand that, Fogel. That doesn't mean that I still think he's that great. No, I think Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry are the better running back himself. But we're not getting into these debates tonight. Seattle's defense gave 182 yards to Derrick Henry last week. Majority of them at the end of the game when they were even more worn down than the beginning of the game. Dalvin Cook is going to be able to do some work against them. He'll be able to move the ball around, and he can catch much better than Derrick Henry can out of the backfield as well. Kirk Cousins, as much as people hate on him and stuff, Kirk Cousins puts up sneaky big numbers every single season. He's doing it again this year. And he's got a great passing attack with Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. I haven't seen what Chris Herndon has done, but
nothing yet.
Maybe nothing yet.
He's been on the field for 8 snaps so far.
That's not.
He
great.
sat out week 1, and then he was hardly on the field. But KJ Osborne has been balling out.
I saw that he was everybody's big waiver guy this week.
Yeah.
But in past 2 years, these two teams have played each other. Last year, they hit 53 points as the total. The year before that, they hit 67 points. So I like the law of averages that we are going to hit this over with 55.5. Wouldn't be shocked if it gets bet down a little bit more because it is a higher number. It's not a small number by any means. I can see this getting bet down to 54, 53.5. I love the over in this game. I think you're going to see some fireworks. These teams are going to put up numbers. Russell Wilson is going to do Russell Wilson things. Give me that over, and that'll be the play.
No, I don't hate that at all. No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it one bit. And if you're a fantasy football owner, it's going to be a DK Metcalf week. I'll tell you that right now. That's all I'm going to say. Like Morgan said, check out his article.
Great. Just what I want to hear. I'm against DK Metcalf in 2 leagues I'm in.
Oh, I hate to see that I was against Derrick Henry last week and Eckler when he finally decides to catch 9 balls. But it's...
You want to hear what's actually worse because we can divulge into this. My week was we were just talking about Aaron Jones and everything, how he went off. That game that I won, I was losing by 24 or something going into Aaron Jones in Monday Night Football. The person I played had left 2 empty bench spots, and I still needed Aaron Jones to get me a win. That's how bad of a week it was.
That's brutal.
You
hate to see things like that. That's why you have to follow FFD Podcast. We're giving out good information. We had a rough week 1, but we're back. Just like here, we had a rough week 1, but we're back. The first week of football is always the hardest. There's nothing to go on. Schemes, talent moves around so much. It's not like basketball where things pretty much flow and everything's pretty much the same. Football's different. Week in, week out is different. Like we didn't really go over any trends this week because it doesn't make any difference right now. I usually wait till week 3, week 4 to start thinking about putting trends together, what works, what doesn't work, who we can actually fade, who's just an anomaly. I will say one thing. I really like the Panthers. They look real good, man. Sam Darnold is the MVP. If they win 12 games, so he's the MVP.
Okay, let's calm down.
Just saying.
Let's calm down with that noise. That's the hottest take this show has ever seen.
No, there's definitely been more. Anything else, Morgan?
No, like I said, I'm going to keep the one other play. We'll keep it on the article. Go ahead and take a look at that. That article is finished. My editor is going to take a look at it and clean up my grammatical errors and stuff and get that posted up there for us. So that probably will be up by tomorrow at some point. I'll be working on the college football article for our college football show as well. So, but that's all I got for NFL. I'm sure, like as always, I will have more plays. I will have some player props that I play that I'm going to take a look at. Like I said, I do really like that Aaron Jones over in his rushing yards. I think that's a really strong play.
There's a couple I like. We'll talk about it after the show. I don't want to give up too many picks out, and then people start to hop on because we didn't talk it out. We just things we like because the numbers aren't up. Real quick, shout out to you for sending me all the content in 24 hours and me not being able to edit my own stuff and forgetting things because I got a lot of shit from my DFS lineup. And I left one guy off the lineup because I wasn't double checking because I look at my DFS lineup and I just type it in. And that guy who was left off my lineup, so was not posted on the Instagram, Cooper Kupp. Winning lineup.
I like to, you can. You're welcome. I'm glad I was able to help. I was there for you. Looking after my boys.
You can take my blame. Read all the articles. A lot of content comes out every week on ffdpodcast.com. Like, follow, subscribe. Slam that subscribe button harder than you to slam the Rams money line this week. It is locked, loaded. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the weekend. Morgan, where can I find you?
You can find me at MoWatch26. More importantly, you can find me at Bang Diagonal, where we will have all of our our plays posted every single week, whether that be we don't really doing too much baseball stuff because baseball's a pain in the ass to bet on. Baseball, if we want to. I've been dabbling a little bit here and there in some European soccer, some La Liga picks. Damn, I'm glad I didn't play that Atletico Madrid pick and everything. I did want to put up Real Madrid today, except it was a minus 465 favorite. So I was like, that's just, I lose all credibility if I do this. Of course, they won 6-1 too. I should have just put like goal plays and stuff up there. But we do have college basketball coming up. We have NBA's talk that we'll be getting into again shortly.
Hockey coming up.
So we'll have hockey coming down the pipeline. Obviously, college football show will be recorded tomorrow night for you guys. Week 4 of the college football season. I am ecstatic for. College football is so much better than the NFL. Which
really because your record doesn't show it.
Pipe down. All right, calm down. We don't need to put it out on blast like that. Just let me live my life. I'm still I'm learning how to walk right now. All right. Had a bad day, had a bad week. We're building things back up. Did go 0-2 tonight in bets, which isn't great.
I just lost one, so that's all right.
2-pick. I had a 2-day heater where I was doing pretty good, but we'll bounce back. I should have known better to go against baseball stuff.
Yeah,
baseball
me too.
Ridiculous to bet against. But like I said, at MoWatch26, you can find me on there. At Betting Diagonal, you can find us there. At FFD Podcast, you can find all the articles that we have posted as well. William, what about you? Where are you at these days?
Follow me at BillyFFD on Twitter. You can follow me at Betting Diagonal on Twitter, where I do most of the regular tweeting. FFD Podcast, where me and Mr. Joe Green split the work. A lot of funny stuff comes up on there. Check up all the subtweets and whatnot on your favorite analysts and whatnot. I'm in there constantly, creating havoc. Like I said, follow, subscribe. Follow Gersh Greg Gersh on Twitter.
Oh, man.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.